Hey guys, I should have shut this off before I started this. If you hear birds chirping, I apologize. Okay, that's unbelievable. Okay, how are we doing today? This video, I can't stop laughing. I'm gonna lose my mind. I really am. I'm slowly but surely losing my mind, but that's what happens when you get old. You lose your mind, you know? So you make videos, you talk to yourself, right? I mean, I'm watching. I have so much free. I have free time today. So when I have free time, sometimes like you go around the web, you check on this and that, and I follow sometimes this royal albatross, right, from New Zealand. You can look it up. It's a royal albatross. I should really put it in the link so you see what I'm talking about later. And it's just a bird, right? It's the biggest bird in the world, wingspan and everything, right? So it's a bird. It's big, right? And it has the egg, and it raises. It shows it's like an 8-month thing, So I go in every 4 or 5 days. I check the bird, make sure it's okay. And for the first time today, maybe because I have a channel, I just happen to look, and I'm looking at the likes and dislikes, and I see 280 likes, 8 million views, right? 280 likes. And then I just started cracking up laughing to the point where I was like spitting things out of my mouth. It has 13 dislikes. Who are these people? 13 dislikes. Can you imagine you're like, you're on YouTube and you're checking stuff out and you see albatross and you see a bird and it says live cam. You know what you're getting into. And you hit it and you go in and you look for like a couple minutes and you just say, no, I don't like this. And you hit dislike. I can see 1, 2, 3, whatever. 13. There's 13 people out there that have such a disgust, hatred for a royal albatross that they have to dislike it. I mean, you can dislike me easily. Of course you can dislike. You can hate me. You can hate what I'm saying. There's so many things you could hate about me. I find that hard to believe. Yeah, no, you could. But people are looking at a video of a bird. Nobody's commenting. There's nobody in the background. Oh my God, 2 minutes and 40. What am I doing? I'm so sorry. I bet you I end up starting this one over. What do I do at this point? Anyway, 13 people dislike it. Okay. What this video is about is the Jets and their kicking situation. They just cut Nagger, Neegar, Neegar, I think it's pronounced. You got to be real careful. I could have a Stan Marsh moment here. I wonder how many of you people get that. Probably not too many people over 60, but I do. And last year, we went through a whole entire season, and I said to myself, you know what? It never, you knew the kicking situation sucked. But what didn't suck last year? Where were you going to point and say, you know what, I see that's a really good question. Where did you see progress last year? Besides Becton, May gave us a couple nuggets. The linebackers, there ain't nobody left. Defensive line. Yeah, defensive line. Running back, we ended up so far as of today, held on to a couple. Anyway, my point is the kicker, I didn't take it too serious because look at the record. And yeah, embarrassingly, I was one of those guys that was on the fence and kind of was not crying when the Jets lost last year. Although every single time when it came down to the end, it just turned. I couldn't do it. And it was over. It was okay. I did laugh out loud at the bomb pass that beat Jackson. I did laugh at that one. The Hail Mary. Oh, that wasn't really. A Hail Mary would be excusable, but that wasn't even a Hail Mary. And then we fired the defensive coordinator after that game. The Jets are just great, man. They are just tragically great. But I love them. So anyway, we go into this season, and again, the kicking situation as of today is bad. It's bad. It's bad. If I was going to be okay with another 2-14, 2-15, 3-14 season, 5-12 season, I'd say, what are you going to do? I still wouldn't be okay with it this year because I want my quarterback, who's a rookie, to get as many wins under his belt as possible. I want this team that went through what they did last year with a new coach and the positive feeling that it has. You want good, as much good to happen as possible. And God forbid they get a playoff game under their belt in their first year. What an experience, right? And then you go into the season with this kicking situation. I love Joe Douglas. I love him to death. I love everything he's done. But the blindness towards the kicking situation is concerning. It's concerning. And hopefully down the line at some point, see a kicker be dropped this late in the year. The only way that would happen is if they also drafted, or signed an undrafted, free agent kicker that is just showing lights out, and they have a veteran kicker that's costing them a lot of money, and they end up dropping him, for money, as a money cut. And you end up being able to pick up a good kicker that way. And maybe that's what the Jets are counting on. Hopefully that's the case. That could happen, but I'm not that familiar with the league on any kicking competition that was not really supposed to be a competition but became one because, they happen to bring a second kicker aboard like all teams do, even with great kickers. And most teams. And, this kid is kicking lights out and they cut a kicker. But then again, here we go again. And if we go into the season and, we have a kicker and it causes a problem during the season, there's we can't blame anybody else. Joe would drop the ball in this. We had a gazillion late draft picks that we could have wasted one on. We decided to take a defensive lineman with our, was it 6th pick, final pick, Marshall, who I love. And I think eventually, whether he's on the practice squad this year or makes the roster, figure practice squad this year or makes the roster, he will be a member of the Jets and a contributor in the next 2 to 3 years. I really believe that. I think this kid's good. But regardless, at that time, we didn't go the kicker route. Okay, so we signed an undrafted. I get all that, but here we are again. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope it pans out. I mean, the jury's still out. Armadillo could end up being a good kicker, or maybe the Jets have their sights on somebody else or another different situation. I don't know. As much as I know Joe has neglected the position, I can't see him going into this season with that much on the line. When I mean that much on the line, every win is important this year. Every win lays the foundation for next year and the following year. You want to get as many good games under your belt as possible. So, again, I hope Joe addresses it. We'll see what happens, but I really didn't think this is a discussion we'd be having coming towards the end of August, middle of August. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Joe does. Anyway, that's it for the kicker. Be nice to the birds. Take care.